Welcome, friends,
to the How-To Heretic.
I'm Uncle Mark.
And I'm Uncle Dan.
And this is your user's guide to life on the outside.
That's right. Leaving religion is the first step into a larger, better world.
But it can also be a scary world.
Ooh.
Things work differently now.
Never fear, that's why we're here.
We're your audio uncles, and with help from good friends and experts in all sorts of fields.
We're going to share the stories and seek the knowledge we all need for building a great life.
After all, you only get one that we know of, so you had better make the most of it, mister. Well, Dan, this week we have a pretty great show.
I'm looking forward to it. You, Mark, are going to teach us all about a country/religion?
Yeah, and it's it's actually really about the most powerful chair in the world.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Gotta love a good chair.
And then you are going to teach us about a guy from the same locality who's both funny and dead.
Yeah, he's a wacky character.
And then we're also going to talk about a god who probably is not going to stay in the ground when we try to bury him.
Oh my God, that guy. But he's in charge. It's his business.
He can get out of a pickle.
He sure can. And then we're going to talk to Dr. D and have some more sexy talk.
We're going to have some sexy talk about when yes means yes and no means no and how those things can change.
And ne'er the twain shall meet.
Exactly. So stick around.
Fun show coming up.
Well, Uncle Dan, you have some sad news for us.
I do?
Yes.
Oh, no, it's all good news here.
Is it all good news?
Sort of.
Well, we're gathered here today with the able help of Uncle Doug. Now, listen, Uncle Doug's appearing in a lot of pieces, but here's the point. Dan and I are lazy bitches.
Yes.
And Doug's still willing to do a lot of the work, so you're going to hear a lot of Doug these days.
And Mark's too old to drive, so I have to pick him up after the podcast. So I figure I might as well just step in.
Well, thanks for coming, Uncle Doug.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We appreciate it. Today, I wanted to talk to you. Now, we're gonna unbury a god, but he's not really dead. Although the unburying and burying thing is very interesting with this guy because he's in charge of that.
Now, this guy still has probably a few adherents.
Yeah,
but I think in the interest of ecumenicalism and satisfying listeners all over this great globe,
yes,
we want to be very international and very multicultural with this segment. So
we're going Creole is what we're doing. We're going to the Haitians and the Louisianan voodoo. And so
my brain was scrambling to find a Creole word to shout right then, and I just couldn't find one.
Yeah,
and Dewey.
Right? Yeah, that's right. So, within these voodoo traditions, this may not be properly a god because there's this sort of overarching god, Bondi or Bondi. I'm not sure how you say it. Bonsai, I think it might be. No? I went one too far. It's actually from
different island.
It's from the French bon Dieu, which means good God.
Good God.
Yes, indeed. Who is the supreme God.
Voodoo and supreme God, yeah.
He's he. I don't know if it's a he. Anyway, it's the most important God.
I think he is. Yeah, I think it's a male.
I mean, it makes sense.
What are the chances that an all encompassing God is a female?
It seems
in this world.
It seems ridiculous.
Well, what little I know about voodoo, it's probably one of the more egalitarian.
Oh yeah,
pantheons. Yeah.
Anyway, what you got is these guys called Loa, who are sort of go-betweens from us to Bon Dieu, to Bondi, and there's a whole bunch of different Loa. I'm going to get into one of the Gede Loa, who are the spirits of the dead. You know, you got your Nago Loa, you got your Congo Loa.
Yeah,
of course.
But you don't. But we don't really need to go there. We are going to talk about. Now, the Gede Loa are largely barons. The important ones are barons,
like a rank,
like a title, not baron, like they can't have children.
No, oh right, Yeah, one R.
1R.
So yes,
They're aristocracy.
indeed.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about Baron Samedi.
Baron Samedi.
Samedi is French for Saturday.
Oh,
So this is Saturday, Baron,
Baron Saturday. I like him already.
and you will like a dapper fellow. He is usually depicted wearing a top hat and tails.
Yeah.
really?
A very striking figure.
Does he have a cane?
Don't know about the cane. Well, probably not, because he's got a cigar in one hand and a rum in the other.
What about a monocle?
Maybe a monocle, but
I'm thinking of something else. Huh?
I don't.
I'm thinking
Yes,
of
you
Mr.
are.
Peanut.
You're Mr. Peanut.
We'll bury Mr. Peanut in another episode.
I don't know. That's my God. That's the God I still worship. But Baron Samedi, he also, the monocle would be tricky because he has a skeleton face. He's a bony fella.
He's got nothing to grip it.
Yeah, I mean, this is straight out of a Tim Burton film.
This guy's This is like a classic, Caribbean voodoo character. Right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the former president for life of Haiti, Francois Duvalier, actually sort of modeled himself on Baron Samedi.
Really?
And would wear dark glasses because he always did that. And apparently Baron Samedi, he also has often, just like you, Uncle Mark, has tissues up his nose. Because
Uncle Mark's a bleeder, okay? That's what we're trying to say.
it's true.
Don't talk about
like
Fight
Christ
Club.
in Gethsemane.
And he bled from every nostril.
Every hole in his head.
He
has tissues in his nose?
Yeah, because he resembles how they prepare dead bodies. And they would prepare, apparently you don't want anything just
Leaking.
leaking
You
out
need to
of the nose of your dead body.
gotta
Especially
plug the holes.
in hot climates.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently he speaks with a very nasal voice, which Duvalier, this former president of Haiti, affected.
No way.
apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it to intimidate or to maybe ingratiate?
I feel like this Baron Samedi is a very popular guy. And I feel like people like to worship him.
So he's not a scary guy.
He is a scary guy,
Oh.
but they kind of dig that.
Okay.
It's like Halloween scary. It's kind of like scary fun, spooky fun.
Yeah.
It's like how everyone now dresses up like Steve Bannon. Right.
Oh my God. You just scared me a lot, actually. That I got the flutters when you said that.
He'll be a voodoo god soon, I think.
The walking canned ham that is.
Yes.
Anyway, so what Baron Samedi is actually kind of fun. He's obscene to the extreme, likes to make dirty jokes all the time, and is entirely debauched.
He's kind of a trickster god.
He's always got a cigar.
Yeah.
He likes rum. But he is the Loa of resurrection. So if you need to come back from the dead, this is your Loa. He can and he can sort of. He's also the one who accepts you into the realm of the dead. Like he makes that call for everybody.
That's so interesting. He seems a little unserious in affect for such
an important job.
Yeah.
Resurrection. And here's the thing: if he doesn't accept your burial, you might turn into a zombie. Like Haitian voodoo is sort of where the tradition of zombie comes from.
Yeah.
And he's the one that gets to decide whether that's what you turn into or not, based on how nice you are. And by the way, the things that you do for him to ensure that you get to die properly or don't die as per your desires varies dramatically. Like sometimes it's just as much as like offering him a cigar or offering him some rum or whatever, and sometimes it's like it can be really intense. This is the guy that ensures that your corpse rots in the ground. Like it's really important that you rot,
that you don't come back as a slave,
so that you don't zombieize yourself.
So if you please him, he lets you rot.
Yes, exactly.
and then you go into the afterlife and you stay there.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
So sometimes his followers are. Sometimes he's totally happy if you just wear black, white, or purple clothes.
Okay.
Or sometimes you have to use sacred objects. Or sometimes you just have to give him some cigars or rum or coffee or grilled. This is ironic. Peanuts. Or bread. Sometimes it's
Do you think we
bread.
just broke open the whole thing? That Planters is like a big
Planters
voodoo
is clearly
company.
It's the one piece of the Illuminati we haven't been able to
right.
figure out.
Exactly. Alex Jones, get on this. This is for you,
Mr. Peanut! He's a pedophile! Can't you people see it? You're feeding peanuts to your children!
Dan's taking his shirt off right now.
I just had 3 heart attacks.
How does he get through a show?
I don't know.
God,
Cocaine.
Cocaine. Lots and lots.
cocaine and barbecue. So
Which is
where
the-
were we with Mr. Peanut?
Mr. P. Which, by the way, is from now on, I will never see Mr. Peanut the same again because he clearly is Baron Samedi.
Yeah, Mr. Peanut decides if you come back.
If you can rot or not. Oh my God.
That'd be great if we got to the afterlife and it was Mr. Peanut. I'd be like, well, damn, it was there the whole time.
It was there.
Staring me in the face.
Yep. That peanut mobile. Have you ever seen that thing driving around?
Is that the peanut mobile? I've never seen that. I've seen the hot dog mobile.
Giant. No, there is one. It's a giant peanut that just drives around.
Like the hot dog one?
Yeah.
I've never seen the peanut one.
Oh, okay. There you go.
It's the lesser.
I feel like
novelty
maybe
food car.
maybe I am more blessed than you two, for I have seen the peanut driving around.
Well, maybe it's a sign. Maybe it's like the Grim Reaper.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I will rot in the ground.
So do you
mark my
when
words?
to these offerings, are they buried with you? Is that what you do? Is
I'm not clear on that. I think you might leave them out for him or something.
for like
I don't
cookies and
know.
milk for Santa Claus.
Right? Indeed, indeed. He is married, Baron Samedi, to another Aloha, Maman Brigitte.
Seems like a bachelor
Brigitte.
to me.
What's that?
Kind of, right?
Seems like more of a bachelor to me.
They have an open marriage.
Well, they really do, or at least his side is open because he often chases after mortal women. He's a little rapey, I think.
with the skull face.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Roy Moore would really like this guy.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe so. They could have drinks together.
He's the god of Roy Moore.
I'm all for Ray Moore just staying in the ground rotting. I
Yes,
want to go on the
indeed.
record right
Yes,
now.
indeed. But yeah, he will bring you back from the death. So he's the leader of the Guede Loa, and he has particular links to magic and ancestor worship and death. So there you go. There's not much more to him.
Yeah.
Except that if you go to Haiti, you may see people dressed as him. You may see a lot of worship of the guy.
In the Zulu parade on Mardi Gras,
Yes, indeed.
which is the all African American parade, and it has on Fat Tuesday it has the first parade, so it's kind of this pride of place.
Yeah,
There's a lot of that character.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And I saw that last year, or a couple years ago. It was just spectacular. But there was a lot of
cool.
the top-hatted, skull-faced.
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
I think he's appeared in like a Bond film. I think.
Yeah,
like-
Bond was him in the beginning of that most
Yeah,
recent
yeah.
one.
The recent Bond film. Like
Yeah.
this guy. I mean, why not?
And I think
He's a fun guy.
For those Disney fans out there, in The Princess and the Frog, I think Dr. Facelier, who was a fantastic voodoo character, was clearly based on this guy. So
Really?
yeah. So
Was he a frog or a princess? I haven't seen.
he
the
was
film.
neither. He was a witch doctor.
Well, I don't.
Does that hold up well in current viewing in our current climate?
For Disney animated classics, it is still.
oh yeah,
It still passes muster. Just don't watch Peter Pan.
or Dumbo.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, there
Hail
you go.
Peanut.
Let's stick him back in the ground.
He'll probably pop back out. But
He does that.
we did what we could.
Kind of his thing.
All right.
Moving on. Hey, Uncle Mark.
Uncle Dan.
I need to learn something, and I understand that you have some information for me.
Well, there's a group. Let's say there's a noun we're going to meet this week.
Okay. Before we do, I'm going to welcome Uncle Doug to join us in this conversation. Hi, Uncle Doug.
Hi everybody, I'm back.
You are back.
This is a complicated enough, weird motherfucking thing that we need a third hand. To
We
get
need
through it.
we need a steadier voice in the conversation because you and I are a mess.
Fucking mess. So In this segment, Let's Meet the Whoever, we'd like to meet maybe an obscure, maybe a not obscure group of believers and faithful.
Sure.
And largely we could call this Let's Meet the Catholics.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've heard of them.
Yeah,
Catholics.
now, it's a big subject, the Catholics.
The Universal Church.
The universe, that's right.
As they like to call
That's
themselves.
right.
As they like to believe they are.
So there is a particular thing about the Catholic Church that I find really fascinating.
Okay.
There's what do you? Nope,
Nope, not
no,
that.
It's not that.
Okay.
It's we've talked about saying this on the air, talking about my browser history on the air, but
We'll edit that out.
it is a ginormous and ancient organization with many, many, many strange appendages and ideas.
Yes, indeed.
But one of the strangest is that Catholicism is in many countries,
Yeah.
but Catholicism has a country.
They got their own country.
They have their own country, and that is so fascinating to me. And I knew plenty of weird shit about it, but in researching this bit, I found some really weird shit about it.
Yeah?
And I think it's worth having a chat about. So
I've always sort of, I'm going to reveal a secret fantasy of mine. It's not sexy at all. It's just dumb. But I do want to go to Rome and walk around or jog around the entire Vatican just so I can say that I've circumnavigated a country on foot.
one of my facts about the Vatican is you can do that in 40 minutes
Okay.
at a brisk walk.
I was going to say, at a brisk walk. How many of you guys have been to
I've never
Vatican
been.
City?
Have you been there?
I have been there.
Oh.
I have not.
You're a resident have been there expert.
I have got that pin in my map.
Boom.
And you can go up on top of St. Peter's and look at Vatican City and see the entirety of it. I mean, it is really not that big.
Yeah, it's 0.17 miles.
That's crazy.
Square miles. And what's funny when you look at the kind of the overhead image of it is it's a lot of garden space.
Oh. They're wasting all of that square mileage.
I mean, they have the biggest church in the world, I think, last time.
Well, it's starting to get more and more gentrified.
The hipsters are ruining the Italian
God.
garden. But it's
I was Vatican before it was cool.
it's
Just so you know.
it's really weird how much of it is it looks like beautiful park
Yeah.
space. And, then the giant chunk of St. Peter's. So let's talk a little bit about where the Vatican comes from.
Okay.
So it used to be that Rome was part of this giant swath of land that was the whole middle of the Italian peninsula called the Papal States.
Okay.
So from about the 8th century until 1870, Italy kind of didn't exist.
Right.
Right. So it was several kingdoms. It was Piedmont and Sardinia and et cetera, et cetera.
I'm sure he made at least one of those up.
No.
Piedmont.
You can
Piedmont.
trust
Yeah, that
me,
doesn't
Dan.
sound right.
So, around 1870, whoever the current king of Piedmont, Sardinia, actually, which was now unified, decided to unify all of Italy. So they attacked the Papal States. The Pope used to be the king of the Papal States.
Right.
And he had armies and he fought wars.
Yeah.
Notice I'm saying he because it's always been a he.
It's always a he.
So in 1870, they took back the Papal States, and the Pope was stripped of his temporal lands. In fact, even the Vatican itself was considered just part of Rome.
Oh, wow.
Of the city of Rome.
Okay.
So that went on for about 60 years.
This war.
No. Just the,
the reunificated.
yeah. Italy was unified for the first time.
Okay.
And the Pope.
And they had a very fuck the Pope attitude, apparently.
They kind of had a fuck the Pope attitude because the Pope had fucked with everybody else around for so long.
It only took them 1,500 years.
So
They managed it
for
eventually.
60 years, a series of 5 different popes sat behind the wall and bitched about being a prisoner in their own palace. In their little red shoes and their gold pretty dresses.
I thought we didn't do current events on this show.
So they just completely bitched about it. So it was in 1929 that no lesser personage than Il Duce,
Oh.
why is his name? Mussolini. I like to call him Il Duce.
Yes.
Decided. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, there was this very insidious pact between the Catholics and Il Duce because they all loved fascism. And if any part of that's true, it's very secondary.
Sure.
Because Mussolini just wanted him to shut the fuck up.
Really?
Who doesn't?
It was just so problematic that the Pope kept inserting himself into all kinds of political fights. And even though a lot of people were pissed at him, most of the people were still Catholic.
Right. Every single Italian person was Catholic.
Probably pretty much.
And also, not for nothing, but even when he was stuck in, behind his walls in his palace or whatever, the Pope was still is considered infallible, right? His
incredibly influential throughout the world, especially in Italy. So in the country he found himself in called Italy.
Right.
So basically, Mussolini just wanted to shut him up and make a deal with him. So it was Mussolini in agreement with Pope, I can't remember which one, who created the Vatican as a country.
Yeah.
So they created that 0.17 miles with all the palaces and St. Peter's, etc., as a nation state. And that was done with the Lateran Treaty of 1929. And in addition to, they gave them a shit ton of reparation money.
Oh.
They gave the Vatican. I tried to convert to modern and I couldn't figure it out, but it was 750 million lira.
I think that's $22.
It was 22. Well, in 1929, it was like $56.
Okay.
So Italy paid reparations to the Pope.
Because
Yes.
if there's an organization in the world that's always been kind of hurting for cash,
And that deserves a break.
Yeah.
it's the Catholic Church.
All right, you guys have had it hard for a while. So the Vatican as a country is very young.
Yeah.
The Vatican is, not 100 years old. It's 90 years old at this point. So the legal entity that the country was chartered under is called the Holy See,
Yes.
right? And the
I've
Holy
heard that before. Now that's spelled SEE, not SEA, right?
SEE, which is a strange,
Or just C.
Or just the letter C.
with a big gold C with diamonds on a necklace. So it's chartered under the Holy See. C is an is a bastardization of some kind of the Latin word sede.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you what that is in just a minute, because that's the really weird shit. So the Lateran Treaty chartered this new nation as the Holy See. International law recognized it in all these agreements. Almost every country in the world has an ambassador to and from the Holy See. Not every country. For instance, Saudi Arabia still doesn't recognize. I don't know what their beef with the Catholics is, but they got a beef with everybody. So
I think it was the Crusades.
oh, maybe.
Could have been.
Yeah. So part of the agreement for forming this wee little pretend country
Yes.
was that the Pope would stay neutral in international relations.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Now, I'm not so sure he's done that.
No, that seems like
But that's what Mussolini specifically wanted from him, was just stay out of my business.
just shut your
So
goddamn
what you're
mouth.
saying is if we make Trump Tower a nation state with a golden throne,
yes.
Trump will exit stage right.
I actually think that might work.
I think so too.
You'll be president permanently of your own country forever for as long as you, and then, yeah.
And it's anywhere between 80 and 260 floors, depending on his mood, right?
Right, yeah, exactly.
So the Pope agreed that he would stay neutral in international relations. Opinions vary on whether that he's held to that part of the bargain. So some of the weird shit, before I get to the weirdest, about the Vatican, because it's just a fascinating little anomaly in the world.
I mean, we know a lot about it thanks to Dan Brown, right?
Right.
I mean, I feel like
There's a super creepy albino,
just walking around, ready to
sidling around the place. So it is a country, but it has no naturally occurring citizens
right.
for obvious reasons.
Basically, all of its citizenry is male and
Virgins.
supposedly celibate.
Right. I mean, they're all,
Supposedly does a lot of heavy lifting in that sense.
I think they're all largely fucking each other. But it is an entire. There's only like 500 or 600 citizens.
Right.
It's entirely male. Not even nuns.
Now-
Women cannot be citizens of the Vatican.
Well, now, as we learned from Jurassic Park, however,
Oh my God.
nature will find a way. And I feel like we'll start to see little baby popes or little baby priests pop up at some point.
Little cardinals growing on trees in,
We'll find pope eggs
in the English garden.
having been laid around the gardens, the grounds.
So no female citizens.
No female citizens.
Only country in the world.
Only male citizens, and
Wow.
and you are granted citizenship.
It is also known as the the Little Rascals country.
Yeah, totally. It's just this
No girls allowed.
He-Man Women Haters Club, like the fanciest He-Man's Women Haters Club in the world.
Right.
So you are granted a passport and citizenship, which is your second one.
Sure.
You don't renounce your first one.
Okay.
By the King of the Vatican, and I'll get to the king in a minute.
There's a king.
There is a king. Here's a funny little quirk from a UN crime statistics site.
Okay.
Because it has only a few hundred citizens, Vatican City technically has the highest crime rate in the world.
In the world.
So if there's like 3 crimes per year, it's the highest crime rate in
Yeah.
the world, which is kind of hilarious.
Don't go there. It's apparently dangerous as shit.
It's dangerous. It's beautiful.
You will be crimed.
It has a legislature which is made up of cardinals,
Right.
Who vote and for this and that, but that can be vetoed also by the King of the Vatican, who just happens to also be the Pope, who is the head of state. But those are different roles.
Okay.
So he is the absolute monarch of 0.17 square miles
Right.
of the world, right? So in that way, he and David Koresh, not so different.
Aren't they all the same, really?
So the King/Pope is King/Pope is an absolute monarch, making Vatican City one of only 6 remaining absolute monarchies in the world, including such luminous nations as Saudi Arabia and Brunei. And for this absurd little feudal holdover of a country pretend thing, this is the reason it cannot join the European Union.
Right.
Because it is not a democracy.
Right.
But it is a democracy.
It could be a democracy. What's interesting is that even if all of the positions, which kind of they are elected in a way, like the Pope is elected.
Yeah, he is.
It is a democracy in that one way.
That's so weird.
So is the EU sanctioning Vatican City? Are they under economic sanctions and a blockade?
It should be.
What's really weird is they do print euros.
In the
Whoa.
Vatican City.
They mint euro coins with St. Peter's Palace on the back, which I thought that to be on the euro, you had to be in the European Union. But you'll see that the Vatican lives in a lot of vague gray areas.
Yes.
Which I think is how they like it.
Yeah, I think so. I think sneaking through is kind of their gig.
Yeah, they're slippery as a haddock. So
the
that's
national
kind of
symbol is a loophole.
So this weird combo of Pope, who is elected by his countrymen, and King, all-powerful, unquestionable, makes Vatican City the only elected, non-hereditary, absolute monarchy in the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. Are they an extradition country? They are not they are a non-extradition country, right?
I believe that's correct.
Which is why a bunch of their positions are filled by guys that we would all like to see prosecuted.
Yep.
Exactly correct. And in the 80s, there was a huge banking scandal in Italy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one of the men chiefly responsible for it was also the head of the Vatican Bank, which is a real thing, which it shouldn't be.
Oh, no. It's a big thing.
And so he almost sunk Italy's economy, as such as it is, and then fled to the Vatican and never left.
Yeah.
And there was nothing anybody could do.
Right. There's a lot of child molesters hanging out there.
Well, there's something a lot of people could do. You could just push those silly Swiss Guard out of the way and walk in.
Well,
Lift the little thing that the cars go under.
the Swiss Guard aren't as silly as they look. They're actually like
Trained military
kind
men.
of commandos from the Swiss. They're men single Catholic men between 19 and 30 who have completed their training in the Swiss Army.
Yes, but ladies and gentlemen, listeners at home, if you haven't ever seen an image of the Swiss Guard, it's imperative that you Google them now.
It's a look. It's a look.
They look like like a commando attacked a jester and
It is a nation defended by Jack in the Boxes.
it's the silliest thing you could possibly imagine.
Just know that court jester has an HK submachine gun under his pantaloons. So be
somewhere
advised.
in there.
Yeah, look. I don't know how to handle a halberd, but I bet they do, and I don't want to be on the
They've got
business end of that thing.
spears. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. One thinks it's just for silliness because who knows how to use a spear? Well, I'll tell you who does. Pierre in the Swiss Guard.
Yeah, Pierre in the Garden Schweitzer, I think they're
It
called.
is a weapon that can be defeated by just staying in the car, however. So I'm not as afraid of it as you might think.
Or just not picking the fight in the first place.
Right. Yes, exactly.
So all that silly shit aside, here's the really, really weird thing about this.
Oh, we haven't gotten there yet. Okay.
No. So the Holy See is the rules and all the regulations and all the things about being Catholic codified.
Okay.
But it is the legal entity of the Holy See. Remember, they dropped the C, sede, which means seat in Latin. The legal corporate personage that is the Holy See is a chair. It is a fucking chair.
You're saying that that the incorporated legal entity of the entire country isn't someone sitting in a chair,
No.
but the piece of furniture itself.
The chair the Pope sits in is the legal entity that is the head of state of the Vatican. Now,
So-
there is a
my
rotating
God.
kind of prime minister
Okay.
who sits in that chair.
Sure.
But for legal purposes,
I can sue a chair.
and I will post this, I'll tweet this picture out, is a fucking chair.
Okay.
Because
Is it like a Game of Thrones chair?
it's
swords?
Is it at least a good-looking chair?
it's it's not bad
It's just
looking.
kind of a nice chair.
It's kind of a tiled chair.
It doesn't look comfortable at all. Of
No.
course.
Oh,
at
it's
all.
definitely like anything Catholic. It mustn't be comfortable.
Right.
So,
Yes.
right?
Somebody put a cushion on the Holy See.
so it is the most powerful piece of furniture in the world.
Yeah.
So the Vatican City has an observer seat in the UN, except that it doesn't because the Holy See is the legal governing entity, and that person chair has the seat at the UN.
So the chair has a seat.
The seat has a chair, has a seat.
Someone put that chair into a chair.
Yeah. So
How do you torture the Holy See?
it's so fucking hilarious. So they're an observer status, right? The Vatican City, 500 or 600 virginal weirdo men that are citizens of other countries that were not born on the premises, has observer status, which is the same status the Palestinian state has
You're right.
God.
at the UN, which are naturally occurring peoples of a racial, ethnic, cultural, national group that have the same technical power at the UN.
Yeah, but how fancy are their robes? Because frankly, I feel like at least from that perspective, the Vatican has them hands down.
I think they've got everybody hands down with
Yeah.
the fancy robes.
Have you seen their hats?
I have seen their hats.
They have very tall hats, not unlike the throne.
Yeah.
that is the president of Vatican City. So, while the Palestinians are barely ever invited to participate in negotiations and large international movements at the UN, the Vatican is invited frequently.
Right.
And they use their quote unquote seat to constantly fight against resolutions about family planning and women's rights and LGBT rights. So, they're literally the only religion with a seat at the UN.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So that's the Holy See, kids.
There you go. If you get a chance, go out and steal a Pope hat or something.
Yeah. So
Or get the seat.
the seat would be a prize.
That's a prank. That's a pretty solid prank there.
It looks like it weighs about 14 tons.
It
So
does. It might be made of stone. I'm not sure.
It's marble and shit. So anyway,
good
I
luck.
hope we brought some clarity to that, but probably not.
Probably not. But anyway,
Let's move on. Uncle Dan,
yes, sir.
this week we once again, this segment, welcome Uncle Doug to sit in and
And make fun.
Thanks
and
for having
laugh
me back,
and
guys.
laugh and cry and learn a little about ourselves.
And about the world.
Yeah.
The world out there.
What do you have for us this week, Dan?
Well, if we three are funny today, I have our patron saint.
oh,
What we're gonna be talking about Saint Genesius of Rome. Now there are problems with just what I just said, and we'll get to that.
all right.
But yes, Genesius is the patron saint of actors. That's me. And clowns and comedians.
Oh,
Which hopefully is us.
but it's
is we.
funny or not funny. It doesn't say.
Is it whether it's funny that he's the patron saint?
No, if you're a funny comedian or an unfunny comedian,
Oh
he's
no,
still
it
your
just,
patron saint.
he's still your patron saint.
Or a funny clown or a sad clown.
Right?
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
an evil clown.
Also, and I don't know that I like getting lumped in with this. Patron saint of lawyers and barristers.
Well, they're also actors and clowns.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Dancers. Also, people with epilepsy. I'm not sure about that one.
Well, it used to be called. Didn't they used to call it Saint Vitus dance?
Oh.
Epilepsy. I think.
Well,
I could be wrong.
I don't. It sounds like that. I mean, that sounds like a fun way of talking about epilepsy is dancing.
Yeah. So if I'm wrong, just yell at Dan about it.
Just
on the internet.
hashtag Dan sucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, here's the story. We'll start with the story of why he is the patron saint of comedians / actors. The story is that he was an actor, the leader of a theatrical troupe.
A troupe.
In the fine city of Rome, and they were performing for the emperor. At the time, the Roman emperor at the time was Diocletian.
Oh.
I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I said it with such authority, I don't think anyone can question me.
That was amazing.
And what they were doing at the time was anti-Christian comedy. It was all the rage. It was everybody was doing it. And he...
What's up with the sacrament?
Right. Exactly. Baptism, I barely know-ism. Anyway, this is really bad. Sacrament. So they're going to do some of those Christian sacraments and make fun of them, right? This is their big...
Oh, blasphemy.
Because Diocletian was super into making fun of these dopey Christians.
Was this pre-Constantine?
This was, yes.
Was it? I don't know.
Must have been if they were making fun.
I don't have Constantine's stats up with me.
I've got the trading card. Hold on.
Yeah, if you can just look that up for me, that'd be great. So here's the thing. So Diocletian is, yes, it is. It's got to be pre-Constantine, right? Yes.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
We'll say yes.
Yeah.
So here we go. Diocletian is watching the show, and Genesius, our actor friend, decides to. They're doing a skit about baptism, that wacky baptism, and suddenly he lies down on the floor, as if very ill.
Diocletian.
Genesius, our comedian, lies down on the floor. He says he felt as if a weight were pressed onto his chest, and he calls over his fellow actors, one of whom is playing the priest, and one of whom is playing an exorcist, and he doesn't call an actual priest over. I can't emphasize enough how much he just calls another actor who's playing a priest over.
Is there an actor in the house?
Right, exactly. I'm not a priest, but I play one on TV. And he says, I need this weight lifted from me. The priest says, well, why did you send for me? And he asks the priest to baptize him. Like, for real? Question mark?
All right.
And the priest does so, and he feels better. And this makes Diocletian, the emperor, so mad that he has him arrested. Because that's not making fun of, that's just doing the thing. So he has him arrested and sent away to Plautia, which is the prefect of Praetorium, in case you were wondering which prefect.
Beautiful weather.
Plautia is...
Beautiful weather.
I'm sure actors and comedians the world over are glad that that's not the reaction if they bomb anymore.
Exactly. This guy was sent away and tortured, apparently. Arrested and tortured. But strangely, he had a genuine conversion, theoretically, while in the throes of this bad show that he did, and would not waver in his faith while being tortured, and was finally ordered to be beheaded. Which, that's
nothing funny about that.
not the best way to end a show, I think.
But if you're bombing, you got to do what you got to do.
You got to,
Got to get the audience back somehow.
It's either that or the aristocrats. You just got to go for it.
You got one of the. You got just two choices, really.
Okay, quick moment. Diocletian did indeed predate Constantine.
Yes.
So this was when it was okay to shit on Christians.
Right.
It was
Exactly.
cool, yeah.
Exactly. Which is why I would have had. When was Constantine? He was.
Constantine was 244 A.D. No, that's his birth. He was reign from 284 to 305.
Oh God.
That was Diocletian. Sorry, Constantine
Close
was
to the 4,000.
was 337 AD.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that yes. Okay. Then our timelines are going to line up. That's
yeah,
good.
just like we knew exactly that they did.
Right. Exactly. So
We do this for you, listeners. We know these things.
We'll go back and edit out all the uncertainty.
we will not.
We don't even have the internet.
We don't know how to edit. So Genesius of Rome. Here's where things are going to get a little dicey here.
Yeah.
Because Genesius of Rome actually originated. There was a historical figure named Genesius of Arles.
Oh yeah.
You've heard of him,
Oh,
obviously.
You kidding me?
I've got his trading card here. Hold on.
I still have the cassette tapes of his shows.
You did bootlegs, didn't you?
I totally did bootlegs.
Yeah. Anyway, Genesius of Arles, who was a notary who died as a martyr in about 303.
All right.
How the fuck does a
CE.
notary die as a martyr?
he would. You know what? What it was they wanted him to do gay marriages, and he would not sign the
Right.
the marriage license.
He's the patron saint of assholes.
He's the patron saint of Kansas.
It's either that or he smashed his balls in the little stamp thing, and that was that.
And that was the end of things.
Bled out.
So this all happened under Emperor Maximianus, a guy,
Max.
who then this Genesius of Arles actually started to have like a following, and people started to like a cult developed around him, and then they just all kind of just assumed that he would be Roman, because if he's that cool, of course he's going to be Roman. And basically all of the whole story that I just told you, they just kind of made up.
What?
None of it ever really happened.
It's a first for this show.
Yeah, exactly. Right? All the gods that we've talked about were super real. But this guy apparently was just the whole story was made up from whole cloth. And yet there he stands, patron saint of the comedians and
so-
the actors.
And the lawyers and the dancers.
Don't you actually have to be a Christian to die a Christian martyr?
I think he was
Well,
one.
he baptized. He got
that's
baptized
right,
on stage.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
That's oh.
So in the fake story, yeah, he got baptized by another actor, by a fellow actor. Yeah. However, baptism works when you're on a stage. I'm
Oh wow.
not immersion.
And when he got to the pearly gates, God's like, I'll allow it.
Your heart was in the right place, which, as we know, the Christian God super okay with your heart just being.
Your heart was in the right place, but I got to say, you lost your head.
Oh,
I gained a heart but lost a head. That's a great place to end with Saint
Genesius. I left my head
in the Protasius region.
in the prefect of Praetorium. All right.
So catchy. All right. Well done, Dan.
Yes, I've now lied to you. I've spread the lie. Go forth, ye, and do likewise.
And make comedy.
Indeed.
Moving on. Uncle Dan,
Yes, sir.
we are very fortunate to have back, returning to give us some great advice, our friend, Dr. D.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Welcome back, Dr. D.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited to have been asked back.
It's so you're our sexy doctor. That isn't a comment on you personally. It's more about like what topic of conversation.
Already, in 10 seconds in, we fucked it up.
I did.
We fucked up the whole conversation.
Oh God.
Well,
This is why we have to have this conversation.
Yeah.
You guys are going to be totally enlightened by the end.
Oh, that's good.
because of Dan is why we have to have this
Yeah,
conversation. So
I'm the problem.
So our friend Dr. D, who is an OBGYN and sex educator, among other things, as you may have heard on her last visit, has come back to talk to us about a very timely subject.
Yes.
And that timely subject is the subject of our how-to this week, which is how to have consensual sex and how to have consensual sexual contact.
Right. How to gain and continue to have consent from your partner. Is that a good way of talking about it?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yes, exactly. I mean, and that's sort of the basic of a healthy, functional sexual relationship, is being able to engage in consent and make sure that both you and your partner are on the same page about what you want.
Yes, that's pretty important because let's just remind our listeners that if you're having sex and you don't have consent from your partner, that's not okay.
That you are in a legally actionable activity at that moment, and that's called rape.
You're a raper.
You're a raper or rapist.
Right. One of the two.
And nobody wants to be there.
Nobody wants to be that guy / gal.
Yeah, it's guy, but
yes, it's probably true.
with rare exception.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know this, Dr. D. It's been in the news a little bit lately that some fellas seem to have not gotten consent when they did some stuff with some other people. And that seems to not work out very well for them.
Yes, doesn't work out well for them, but more importantly, really didn't work out well for the people who were the victims.
Oh, that was the them I was trying to refer to. I
consent.
worded it badly. I was trying to refer to those them.
Yes. And I think it's really great that there is so much attention being paid to this issue right now, because this is not a new issue. This is not something that just happened.
What?
But I know,
This
hard to
happened
believe.
before?
Hard to believe. Even our dear old president has
Dear
engaged.
old Donald.
Our dear leader.
Yeah.
Yes, dear leader.
It is really amazing how there is this sudden, cultural zeitgeist that it's fascinating. And I don't know, we can talk about if we want to, the origin of this, what is empowering women to finally come forward and speak out against some pretty fucking powerful men. Is it the election of Donald Trump that made us kind of cough up this furball? I don't know.
Well, I mean, let's not forget that women have been coming forward against powerful men for a long time and have been largely ignored.
Right.
So this is just the time when they've come forward and people have been like, "Oh, really? We should pay attention to that."
I would highly recommend watching the documentary Anita about Anita Hill. I was 13 when that hearing took place. And Anita Hill was a woman who accused then Supreme Court nominee Clarence Thomas of sexual assault and sexual harassment. And it was just fascinating to me as an adult to go back and watch that and see how she was completely vilified by our members of Congress and by the public at large. And it's really on her back and the backs of so many other women that we have gotten to the point now where, it's not just one voice, but it's many voices coming forward. And I think it is, there is that power of hearing other women speak truth to power and to say, this happened to me and this was not right. And to have another woman come forward and then another and then another, I think it really gives women the ability, the courage to stand forward and say that we can no longer tolerate this. And I think the election of a president who openly admitted to sexual assault is maybe part of the tipping point.
But that was just locker room talk, right?
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. And that I think that is the origin here. And I'm old enough to kind of have remembered the Anita Hill situation and what a lonely fucking stance it was.
Oh my God.
And not only a woman, but a woman of color, coming out just completely by herself and, up to and including Joe Biden just completely railroading her and running over her and pretending the whole thing wasn't real.
Right.
So yeah, here we are in this moment.
So here we are, and we'll let the society decide how to deal with the Weinsteins and the CKs of the world. That's not what we brought you on here to talk about, though. What we want to talk about is how do we avoid their mistakes? So how do we, as people who want loving, healthy sexual relationships, make sure that we're not doing what they done?
Right. Well, the first thing is understanding what consent actually is. And it's a pretty basic definition, but I think it's really important to start there.
Sure.
And to understand that this is the basis on which any sexual relationship should begin. And it's an agreement to participate in X activity. Is it kissing? Is it touching? Is it the removing of clothes? Is it penetration? It covers the whole spectrum, but essentially it's just saying that the two of you or the three of you or however many are involved, but are all there in our agreement to participate in a particular sexual activity.
And I think it's so funny. It's weird that we even would have to say this, but yeah, every single person has to agree.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's not okay.
Right.
Right.
Okay. So continue. Yeah.
Yeah. And consent has to be given freely, right? So it's not being coerced. It's not badgering somebody. It's not under the influence of any drugs or alcohol. It is this person saying to you, yes, I want to do that.
Now, I think a lot of people get hung up on this question of, does a person have to say the word yes? Or how does somebody, what is an acceptable way of someone saying, giving their consent?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And I think there is a little bit of disagreement. I think most people would agree that saying yes is the most clear-cut way of demonstrating consent, or some version of, it doesn't have to be per se yes, but it can be, do you want to go, can I take your clothes off? I would love that. Something along those lines.
Right.
There are, though, some nonverbal cues that can indicate the presence or absence of consent. And so if you are asking somebody to do something and they look uncomfortable, most of us are pretty good at reading whether or not somebody's uncomfortable in a situation. If there's any ambiguity, that's the time to stop and ask for a clear answer.
Right.
If you're trying to kiss somebody and they're pulling away from you, or they're not really, we all know what it's like to kiss somebody who's not really into it. Unfortunately, I think most people do, right? Like, you can tell if somebody's into it or not. And if you're getting any of those physical cues, then that's an important time to stop and say, wait, is this something that you want to do? Do we need to talk about it? And
absolutely. I was going to say, nobody wants, I think one of the reasons that people try to avoid getting verbal consent is because nobody wants to say, hey, do you want to do X? And hear, no.
Right.
Because it sucks to be rejected. That just doesn't feel good. But it's still fucking important.
Right. Yes. And I think, what's worse than being rejected is doing something against somebody's, desires, right? Like, if you're doing something and somebody's not consenting to it, that's a lot worse than asking if you can do something and having that person say no.
Right.
Absolutely.
If you're a person with something close to a functional moral landscape.
Right.
Right.
And and that's the thing about consent is not, if somebody says yes, it also is not a blanket consent to anything that you want to do to them.
Right.
So saying, do you want to, it's basically, would you like to come inside? That's a consent question, right?
Sure.
Yep.
And so if the person says yes, that does not mean that they have then agreed to have sex with you.
Right.
Right.
It's amazing that we have to have this conversation, but that's very true.
Yes.
Yes. Each thing does not grant consent for further things.
No, if you ask that person, do you want to come inside? And they go upstairs with you and you go to make a drink or something, and as you turn around, they're tearing their clothes off, one may consider that they're consenting for something else.
That's a sign.
Right? Is that a nonverbal sign?
Yes. They could also ask you, is it okay if I take my clothes off?
Right. Yeah, that's...
Or you can say it in a way that's a little bit sexier, right? Like, I really want to take my clothes off right now. Is that okay?
Right.
I want to take your shirt off. Is that okay? It doesn't have to be like this cut and dried, sign on the dotted line here at each step.
Right. And there you've hit on another hang up that people have, which is this idea that somehow asking the question isn't sexy. It ruins the moment or whatever. And I know lots of people. I've had this conversation with people. It can be totally sexy. Are you kidding me? To ask somebody, can I take your clothes off? Can I kiss you?
Right.
That's awesome sexy.
Show me where you want me to touch you.
Yeah.
Right.
That sort of stuff. It's great. And I mean, what better experience than when both of you are enthusiastically participating in your relationship? Hot and heavy makeout session between two enthusiastic partners versus, groping somebody who's trying to creep away from you on the couch. I mean, which one is better? And just because they don't want to be touched doesn't mean that they don't want to kiss you. I mean, there are ways to really have a fulfilling encounter with somebody within the confines of a consensual relationship. And what a beautiful thing that is.
Yeah, I think also we need to make sure that we talk about the fact that at no time in any sexual relationship does anyone owe anyone else any kind of sex.
Absolutely.
Or
nobody owes you anything.
Or then that kind of also speaks to consent. Again, is not a blank check. At some point, you can be like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm good here."
Right. You can revoke consent.
Yeah, I'm not going to that X. Like this was fun, but I'm done now.
You can exactly, and it can be at any point. You could have said, yes, I want you to take my shirt off, and then decide in the middle of it or afterwards that it actually doesn't feel good to you and you want to stop. And it is okay for you to say that. You do not owe them anything because you started down that path.
Right.
And, they also do not have the right to expect anything more from you than that.
Yeah, I think that's there's a lot of stuff happening on the internet right now, and I don't want to get into all of the ugliness of like the incel groups and whatever, but there's a lot of sense out there in the world that somehow, if a man pays for dinner or whatever, this is changing, thank God, but, especially up through, you go back a generation, there was a sense that there was a quid pro quo. If a man paid for the woman's dinner, then she somehow owed him some sort of sexual contact or whatever. And that is, we just need everybody to understand that no, that's never the case.
Right.
And I would just jump in and say that idea is extremely recent. So if you watch SNL or sitcoms or movies from the 90s, rom-coms from the 90s, that was just a given.
Yeah.
Right? That was just kind of funny. Oh, that bitch, she didn't, stick around. And the guys are all like, well, what are you going to do?
She didn't fulfill her part of our bargain or something.
How uncomfortable is it to go back and watch those old movies that you used to love?
Yeah.
And I just have to say, I was rewatching Sex and the City recently.
Yeah.
And oh my God, that show was regressive.
Yeah, it does not hold up well.
It does not.
The same with like Friends or Seinfeld or an old favorite, The Cosby Show.
Oh,
Right.
God.
Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh. And you know what? People always say, well, the rules have changed. And that's not true. The rules haven't changed. Mm-hmm. It's our calling out of unacceptable behavior is coming forward now. It was always unacceptable to get for a man in power to hit on a subordinate. It was always unacceptable for someone to sexually harass someone on the street. It was always unacceptable. The women or the victims of this harassment, be they women or men or queer or whatever their identification is, to them it was never acceptable.
Right.
It's just our society was willing to look the other way. So the rules haven't changed.
Right. And it's, obviously a huge problem here is the power imbalance, the societal power imbalance, right? Especially men, powerful men, just have this expectation,
Right.
Right.
that's acceptable. And even if they know it's kind of not acceptable, they see themselves as living in kind of a rarefied space, that they're powerful, therefore this is okay for them.
Well, when you're a star,
Oh, God.
they'll let you
That's right.
do anything.
Like the Louis C.K. thing is just insane, what he was doing,
Right.
which was thinking he was establishing consent.
That's when it gets really sticky.
Right. And he's like, I always ask beforehand. And I'm like, okay, first of all, you're fucking crazy that somebody wants to see you just whip it out and masturbate in front of them on a tour bus or
Right.
wherever you are. But, that as woke a guy as Louis C.K. Publicly appeared to be in his better moments, that is just an amazing, I don't know if it's oversight or just a blind spot that he thought he was establishing consent.
Yeah, and that's that brings up a really good point, because there can be situations where, especially if there's a power imbalance, where someone might appear to give consent, but it's not true consent. And it's a little bit of a tricky area. But if a person is saying yes, but looks uncomfortable, so we're going back to those nonverbal cues, looks uncomfortable, is withdrawing, those are signs that they're actually not giving consent. Consent needs to be enthusiastic and it needs to be reciprocal. It cannot be one-sided. And if you are in a position of power over a person, then in particular, that's it's an area that needs to be trod very carefully.
Yeah, let's talk about that really quickly, because a lot of people don't get where this one's coming from. So let's just talk about, a man who is boss of a company and a woman whose job sort of depends on his continued approval, and why it's not okay, even if they're mutually attracted to each other, for him to hit on her.
Yeah, I mean, so in this situation, the person who's in the position of power has, power over this person's livelihood, their ability to retain their job, their ability to advance in their career,
Their health care in this country.
their health. Exactly. I mean, so there's so much that's dependent upon it. This is why a lot of companies have rules against workplace romances. But it is also, how do you, there's so many complicated politics within that situation that how can you truly parse them out? And some would argue, can that truly be a consensual relationship when there's such a power differential? And I think, it's a really difficult area. And I think the safest scenario is to not engage in that situation.
Right.
Are there cases of successful workplace relationships yes, there are. But I think if you're the person in power, the potential for abuse is high. And that is an area where I think really you need to tread very, very carefully. And it's oftentimes probably safer to just avoid.
Well, and it may be impossible for the person in power to actually gauge whether the other person is giving consent or is feeling coerced.
Absolutely.
At that point. So it's always, it just seems like err on the side of caution on those.
Yeah, I think for once, maybe the kind of male patriarchy in this country can say, in that instance, hey, that's the onus there is on us.
Right.
It is on me to determine, if this is really a thing or if, there's a reason we have this horrible term in this country, sleeping your way to the top.
Yeah.
It's because it's something that people were put in a position to try to do. Right.
And I think, what's sort of nice about what's happening right now in our society is that I think people in power can look at it and say, oh shit, my job's on the line if I fuck this up. Maybe it's better if I just not go after her and just find someone who's not my subordinate so that to have a relationship with.
I think certainly in the short term, that's a really great response. I think, in the long term, we really need to get to a point of equal respect for the sexes. where this behavior is not engaged and not because of a fear of any sort of punitive action, but because it's not the right thing to do, to understand that this just becomes how people engage in relationships.
Well, yes, I'm glad you called me out on that. I think part of what I was trying to say is that at least it's waking people up to the idea.
Yes.
I think we're all having kind of a long dark night of the soul, as certainly as men in this country, not only auditing our own behavior towards women, but auditing, or in Kevin Spacey's case, towards young men,
right?
But also, auditing experiences we've been part of where we've seen. I used to have a horrible boss, and I saw him behaving very badly. And I'm thinking about that. Like, what I should have done something. The consequences for me could have been pretty severe, but I'm not absolving myself of my responsibility for not having said, "Dude, take your hand off that person."
Right.
That's not cool. So I think we're all kind of auditing, and I think that's very healthy.
Yeah, I think it's, there's so many great conversations to be had in the wake of the revelations that are happening around us constantly. And I think there's a lot of opportunities for us to expand and grow our understanding and our acceptance, or challenge our acceptance of what we think is normal. And I encourage everybody to have these conversations with their loved ones. You might be surprised about how they feel, but I think it's a really important conversation to have, and to hopefully grow each other that way, and grow our understanding of how important this is. It's not just about, these men who lost their jobs. It's a scary time to be a man. Well, it's been a scary time to be a woman, a minority, a person of color, a sexual minority for a really long time. And so, this is a chance for us to move away from that. Although that is a lot of people's, gut reaction. I say if you meet somebody who has that reaction, then, press into that and have a conversation with that person about what that means.
Right. I think that's important. As speaking as the straight white male in the conversation, I will say I think it's a great time for us, we straight white men, to really do some introspection. If you feel fearful about what it is, this time being a man, ask yourself what it is that you might be doing that could cause that. Because honestly, if we actively are getting this enthusiastic consent that you've been talking about, there is nothing to be fearful of. Like,
right.
That's
exactly.
So if you're afraid, and believe me, like, I went through this a little bit, and as Mark said, I've gone back and sort of looked at things in my history and my own behavior. And there are things that I've found in my past that I feel pretty yucky about. So so it's a great time to sort of ask yourself some questions about who you are and what you want to be. And if nothing comes of this conversation other than everybody should just be getting out there and trying to have super enthusiastic consent for all. Like, why would you want to fuck someone who's not into fucking you?
Only if you were defective in some. Only if you were some fucking crazy person like Bill Cosby who drugged women that went there for consensual sex.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but some of them went consensual. I'm going to fuck Bill Cosby.
And honestly, yeah, I mean, if you find yourself in the position where you're not into having, where it doesn't turn you on to have consensual sex, then maybe you need to seek some help, because
right.
That's a pathology. That's not acceptable.
Yeah. It's time for an afternoon of electroshock.
Maybe not quite that far, so right away. But I think there is particularly people like the Harvey Weinsteins and even the Louis C.K. that there's a pathology that underlies that, and there's certainly a power dynamic issue. And I'm not a psychiatrist; I can't get into the psychodynamics of that, but those are some cases. But for a lot of people, it's a lot simpler than that. And so it really, like you said, if there's nothing to be afraid of if you are if you are practicing consensual sex and you are engaging in consent. And there's a lot of great information out there. You can go out and look it up. There's no shame in how to ask for consent. If you Google consent and sex, there's a whole bunch of stuff that comes up right away. Planned Parenthood's got a great page about what consent is, how to define it, how to talk about it. They've actually got a great video of couples. And, you mentioned, I think it was Mark that mentioned that it's, not just, you mentioned Kevin Spacey. And so it's not just women who are the victims of sexual harassment, sexual assault. Mm-hmm. It's men, it's any sexual minority. And so Planned Parenthood has a great video of examples about how to talk about consent. There's a ton of resources out there. Like, get out there and educate yourself on it and learn how to do it right. It's fun.
Yeah.
You can make it a game.
There's definitely nothing sexier than someone who's super into you
and wants to do what you want to do.
And there's nothing less sexy than being in a weird, uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
Like where one person's not super into it.
Right. Because even if you fool yourself to that's feeling good in the moment, like after it's going to be fucking horrible.
Right.
What you feel after that. So, I have a question for you, Dr. D, about, as your role as kind of a sex educator, I wonder if, like racism, these habits are learned very young and are instilled by older relatives or older peers from a very young age. How would you recommend talking to young people? Is that something you do?
Yes, it's something that I do. And I think it's a lot easier if you start at a really young age. I think, it's our families, it's society at large. It's what we see. We talked about, movies from the 90s and TV shows, from the 90s and 2000s, that sort of normalized behavior that is not really acceptable. And so I think when you're dealing with teenagers and adults, which is the patient population that I primarily deal with, it's a little bit trickier. If you're talking with younger kids, it's just, consent's not just about sex, it's about anything. You don't do something without asking somebody's permission, especially you don't do something to their bodies. And so, if you can, for people who are parents or, have nephews and nieces or around young children, it's demonstrating that kind of behavior and encouraging that kind of behavior. With teenagers and young adults, it's a little bit trickier because you're sort of fighting a little bit of the messaging that comes through society and the expectations, particularly on women, but not solely there, but expectations of how you're supposed to behave. And women are supposed to be demure, but we're supposed to be sexy. You're supposed to be available. From a young age, girls tend to be taught to please other people, and that's not really emphasized with boys. And so I think that's where you get these situations where women say, I was uncomfortable, but I still went to the hotel room. I didn't know what to do in that situation. I wanted to leave, but I didn't feel like I could. And, men would say, well, why didn't you just punch him? Why didn't you run out of the room? And that's not the way women are socialized.
Right. And that training begins so early that the Girl Scouts this year just put out a thing for the holidays that said, "Hey, remind your daughters they don't owe anybody a kiss or a hug."
Right. So it's not just
even your 5-year-old doesn't owe anybody any touch.
Love the Girl Scouts. Yes,
the Girl Scouts are awesome.
Yes.
So it's not just teaching your boys not to be little shits and to establish that other people have rights to not get punched or slapped or pushed down or have their shirt pulled up. It's teaching girls, I would imagine, that your body's your own forever at all times.
Yes.
And
and you can be assertive about it as much as you want.
Yes. To be assertive is still to be a woman. It's to be a person. It's to have respect for your own body. And I think really the thing I'm going to circle back is that it's not just about teaching boys. It's about teaching girls. It's really about both. It's not the woman's responsibility, and it's not solely the man's responsibility, although in our patriarchal society, a little bit more of the responsibility is laying on the men right now, but everybody needs to be taught how to engage responsibly and respectfully with the other people around them.
Yep. I think that's it. I think we've hit it.
I consent to ending
Yes, we
this
solved
segment
it. Did
if
we
you
solve
guys do.
consent?
I think we've all done a wonderful job here. Thank you so much, Dr. D. Go out and have some consensual
you.
sex, kids.
Yes, thank you, Dr.
Yes.
D. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Oh, appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys. I loved every second.
Right on. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, friends, that's it for this week's show.
Hey, we'd love to hear from you. Send us an email if you'd like to, howto@howtoheretic.com.
Or leave us a voicemail at 903-88-HOW-TO, which is 903-884-6986. You can also find us on Twitter at HowToHeretic.
Yeah, or on the Facebook. It's just facebook.com/howtoheretic. And also, you can join our legions of patrons.
Yes.
They're not quite legions yet, but they will be soon if you want to dive in. We did not thank patrons this episode. We will do that next episode. There was a little bit of a
scheduling issue.
scheduling issue.
Yeah, but we'll catch up next time.
We'll catch you up. But yeah, please go to howtoheretic.com and click on the Patreon button.
We consent to all your monies.
Yes, we do. Yeah, if you like to.
And thanks to Cody Layton for editing the show.
And thank you guys for tuning in.
Bye-bye, friends.